The race to create robots that look, act, and work like humans could see unemployment soar, welfare costs increase, and may eventually bring the global economy to its knees. But it could also lead to the fourth industrial revolution. Experts, including scientists, economists, and billionaire businessmen, believe robots will be doing more than 5 million typically human-based jobs within the next 5 years. And if this prediction comes true, inflation will continue to be slow as wages for the remaining human workforce plummet. However, this is likely to eventually stabilize. When the remaining workforce become more efficient, there will be a productivity boom similar to that seen when the internet rose to prominence. In fact, the Bank of America believes robots will boost productivity by almost a third. Bankers will then be able to keep rates lower than before. This cycle of events could even lead to the fourth industrial revolution. The discussions are taking place at the Davos Forum in Switzerland. Experts contemplating the rise of the machines and how they will affect our way of life include Adam Posen, a former Bank of England policymaker, Laura Tyson from the Haas School of Business at the University of California, Berkeley, and Angela Kane, the former German UN High Representative for Disarmament Affairs. The claims build on a recent report in which economists created a model to plot a range of possible robot scenarios to see how the machines could impact national income, capital, and quality of service. In the paper Robots Are Us, Some Economics of Human Replacement, lead researcher Seth Benzel said, whether it's bombing our enemies, steering our planes, fielding our calls, rubbing our backs, vacuuming our floors, driving our taxis, or beating us at Jeopardy, it's hard to think of hitherto human tasks that smart machines can't do or won't soon do. With this in mind, Mr. Benzel and his colleagues at the National Bureau of Economic Research asked whether human replacement, the act of building better versions of ourselves, will deliver an economic utopia or leave us earning too little to buy the goods the robots are making. Using a simulated economy, they found that the value of coders and developers will increase as the demand for smart machines rise. As processes improve and technology advances, the price to produce these machines will decline, which will deliver a tech boom. This in turn will raise the demand for new code. But over time, the stock of so-called legacy code will grow because so many people are working on the projects, causing an abundance. Plus, this code will ultimately cause machines to become smarter and learn how to use the legacy code themselves. This will cause demand for new code and, thus for high-tech workers, to drop and see such workers replaced by robot employees. The resulting tech bust reflects past humans obsolescing current humans. These robots contain the stuff of humans, accumulated brain and saving power, said the paper. In fact, high-tech workers can start out earning far more than low-tech workers, but end up earning far less. The paper uses the example of Junior, the reigning world computer chess champion. Junior can beat every current and, possibly, every future human on the planet. Consequently, his old code has largely put new chess programmers out of business. The eventual decline in high-tech and, potentially, low-tech workers' income will limit what young people can save and invest, continued the paper. This means less capital will be available for the future generations and production could actually fall over time, despite the fact machines are capable of producing goods more efficiently. An alternative outcome of this is that high-skilled workers will move into low-skilled, lower-paid positions, which will force these low-skilled workers into unemployment. And once people are out of work, welfare costs will rise, putting a greater strain on the economy. The authors even suggest people start saving for this eventuality. The long run in such cases is no techno-utopia. Yes, code is abundant. But capital is dear. And yes, everyone is fully employed. But no one is earning very much, said Mr. Benzel. In short, when smart machines replace people, they eventually bite the hands of those that finance them. The study's model firmly predicts three things: a long-run decline in the share of labor income, tech booms followed by tech busts, and a growing dependency of current output on past software investment. Our simple model illustrates the range of things that smart machines can do for us and to us, continued the paper. Its central message is disturbing. Absent appropriate fiscal policy that redistributes from winners to losers, smart machines can mean long-term misery for all. This study follows a similar report by management consulting firm Boston Consulting Group that predicted by 2025 the number of automatable tasks will rise to 25%. In turn, labor costs stand to drop by 16% on average globally over that time. The shift will mean an increasing demand for skilled workers who can operate the machines, said Hal Sirkin, a senior partner at Boston Consulting. Factory workers will be higher paid, but there will be fewer of them, Mr. Sirkin said. Companies tend to start thinking about replacing workers when the costs of owning and operating a system come at a 15% discount to employing a human counterpart. For example, in the U.S. automotive industry, which is predicted to be one of the more aggressive adopters of robots, a spot welding machine costs $8 an hour versus $25 an hour for a worker. A robot that can perform certain repetitive tasks costs about 1/10 as much as it did more than 10 years ago, Mr. Sirkin said. Costs tied to one commonly used robotics system, a spot welder, are also expected to fall 22% between now and 2025. 3/4 of robot installations over the next decade are expected to be concentrated in 4 areas: transportation equipment, including the automotive sector, computer and electronic products, electrical equipment and machinery. By 2025, robots should be able to handle 30 to 40% of automatable tasks across multiple industries. Adoption will be slower in industries such as food products, plastics, fabricated metal, and wood products, where many tasks will remain difficult to automate and wages are relatively low. Thanks to technological advances, however, robots are making greater inroads in these industries as well. Regardless of whether it's time to invest in next-generation robots, manufacturers everywhere should start preparing, added Mr. Sirkin. They need to understand how costs and automation technologies are changing in their industries and what their competitors are up to.